Hey folks, welcome back to the Portable Gamer. Welcome back to Farming Simulator 2017, and welcome back to Northstone Farm. So before we get started, let me lay something on you. Tell me what you think. I downloaded this is the photorealistic graphics mod. I don't know that it's necessarily photorealistic. That's base game. That's what we're on right now. Base game. That's what we're on. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see when we drive through the yard. This is Reshade base game. Hard to say. And you know, something else that's kind of weird about messing with colors the way we do, and messing with shaders and reshade and everything else. You know, I think we forget sometimes that depending on where you live, you can have things going on with if there's particulate in the air, right? Like if it's misty or smoggy or, you know, there's any number of things that can really impact the way things look, even on a day-to-day basis in the same place. So, I don't know. I like messing with the shaders, but I'm also aware that every map maker has built their map in kind of a specific way, and when you go messing with it, you know, can kind of, I wouldn't say screw things up, but it can, I feel, sort of change the whole look of a map, the whole feeling of a map. But so it goes. So we are finishing up grass, and let me tell you, it's been a grass adventure since our last episode. You know, we did field from here. I guess you could say it's below us. It's right there through the gate. That's field 7. Sorry, that's field 10. We're in field 7. I did field 10, and we got some grass out of it. And I wasn't 100% sure what kind of grass we were going to get from the map, like what volume of grass. But sure enough, we got some decent grass. Then, when I was on my way through the farmyard at one point, I saw we had an entire cow pasture. We had a whole mess of grass, and I sold our cows because we're going to do pigs on this map. I sold our cows, and so we didn't need that grass for anything. I mean, technically we didn't need it for anything anyway, because we don't have the pasture grass mod installed. I don't know if you're familiar with that. It's a cool mod. Basically what it does is it makes how do I get out of here? Right down here. It sort of calculates the volume of grass that's growing in a pasture and puts it in the trough, which makes a lot of sense because cows eat pasture grass. I mean, you do have to feed them, but they're also eating grass that's growing up out of the ground. So even though we're not running that mod, I still feel, I don't know, I feel kind of bad mowing a pasture that has cows in it. Like, that's their food, man. But we don't have any cows. So I went ahead and mowed, and it's going to be that pasture right there directly in front of us. I mowed that, and I got about 80 tons of grass out of it. So good on us. So between field 7, field 10, and the cow pasture, and let's hop in cab like we do when we're out driving. We have a lot of grass down at the BGA, a lot of chaff. It's going to make a lot of silage. It's going to make us a lot of money. Oddly enough, I think this map, this tiny little map, is going to be the first map that we're profitable on, because we've got Upton going, which is a big map, and then we just got Lone Oak Farm going, and that is a massive map. But I just feel like, carefully, I just feel like this is going to be the first one we make any money on, and I'm really, I wouldn't say I'm like feeling the pressure, but I'm really aware that FS19 is coming out in just a few months. So it's going to make sense for us to wrap these maps up by then. I don't want to just cut them off in the middle of a season or the middle of I don't know, a flow. You know what I mean? And I do, looking now, I do kind of like this graphics mod we're running. I do like this. Okay. This was a good choice. So we've got a lot to do, and there's equipment that we want to play with, because that's half the fun of this sim. And we may, like, it's about farming and it's about, you know, things, but playing with the cool toys is awesome. And even if you are a farmer, I think you can't, I mean, nobody can have like every cool piece of equipment. It just doesn't work that way. So I feel like for us to be able to have all these different kinds of equipment and all these different toys is super cool. And there's a lot of them that I've downloaded that I really haven't spent a lot of time playing with, because I try to play realistically, and that means that I don't get to just like buy anything I want. So I did compact this off camera, so we're going to dump this last 8 tons of chaff up here, but we're already at, we should be at 100%, and when we dump this it'll take us back to like whatever 95% or something. So we'll just need to go over it once or twice to compact it, and then we'll get the blanket over this and let it start cooking. And I think, well, I don't think, I know there's really nothing going on this farm until harvest. All we're going to be doing is feeding pigs, and that's not a lot of fun. And then we're going to do our second cut of grass. So I think what I'm going to do, because I really am interested in making good videos, and some of that I think is not just what you put in. I think some of it is, like with a lot of things in life, it's not just what you put in, it's what you leave out. So I think, and this is the Sapphire silage pack, silage kit. I don't know, man. There's a buck rake over there, there's a blade, and there's this thing. There's actually 2 of them. There's 2 different Sapphire kits, but this thing will get you like 3 or 4% of compaction per pass, versus if you're just doing it in a tractor, you'll get like 1%, which means, I mean, you'll have to make 100 passes to get to 100%, whereas if you throw this thing on, you can do it in like 25. All right, it's already done. Nope, go the other way. We're already at 100%. So I guess what I'm saying is I'm going to blanket this, and I did discover something super cool. So we put this chaff in here. We put this, all right, blanketed. Start cooking. We put the chaff up. We started to, and I realized I had done that before I built our course play macro to unload. And you can go back in and try to lay in a course when there's grass in the bunker, when there's chaff in the bunker. Doesn't work quite as well. And I was trying to figure out what to do about that, and I thought, well, I could do the other one, right? I could build a macro for the other stall, the other bunker, and then unload the one that we've already got stuff in manually, and then load up the next one, and then make a macro for the first one. And I was kind of, I wouldn't say struggling, but I was kind of at a loss. Like, how do I do this? And then I realized that the course play courses don't go with the profile, they go with the map. So I started Northstone in, you know what? I'm liking this. I'm liking this reshade pack a lot. Now that I look at it, yeah. It's not quite photorealistic, but that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Okay, I like it. Glad I did it. So the course play courses go with the map, not the profile. So I fired up Northstone on a new profile, just a test profile, bought a tractor, put a front loader on it, drove down here and laid in 2 courses at the BGA, one for lane 1, one for lane 2. Deleted that because that was all I needed it for. Deleted that profile because that was all I needed it for. And then when I started up this profile again, sure enough, those courses were in there. So we have a way to automatically, or well, not automatically, but we have a course play course available to unload the bunker that we've filled. And I can do an episode, I guess, with that, but it's, you know, harvest is what we're after. I feel like drilling, a little bit of grass work, and harvesting is what we're after, and that's about all we need. So I would say the next thing that's going to happen, I mean, we're going to feed the cows, we're going to feed the pigs. We're going to feed the pigs and take care of the pigs. And we're going to do second cut. And at some point, the bunker that we filled, the cover will come off, and we'll put that in the digester. But there we go. But there's really nothing happening on this map until harvest. So I think what I'm going to do is go off camera and skip ahead a lot of days. You know, I've been sort of reluctant to do that because I like long form video. And I'm not saying, you know, you should or you have to. I was just making videos for people that like the kind of videos that I like, which are a little bit longer and more in-depth. All right? Well, maybe not everybody's into that. So, moment, concentrating. So I'm going to skip ahead and just do some of the fun stuff. And I think that makes sense, particularly because we don't have a lot of time, like days-wise, before FS19 comes out. So there's no point, right? You see what I mean? Like that, we're going to do a second cut of grass. It's going to be identical to what we just did, and nothing is really going to happen between now and then because it's a small map and there's not really a lot going on. Make sense? I think it makes sense. It makes sense in my head. I don't know if it's making sense the way I'm saying it. Oh, and I traded out. We had that, I can't remember the brand, but we had that other broadcast spreader. It's too small. It didn't have enough spread. I'm going to hop out to show you this. So we traded it out and we got an Amazon. I found another version. It's the same Amazon. It's the same broadcast spreader, but I found another version of it with, get in there, dynamic hose. And I am a fiend for dynamic hose. I love it. So we're going to go up and throw some pellet fertilizer on the grass that we just mowed, and then I think we're going to be done for harvest, or we're done until harvest, because like I said, there's really nothing going on but second cut, and we just did a cut. So unless you object, it's going to be what happens. Filling, filling. Filling. I think that's enough. And we do need to be somewhat mindful of our money. I forget how expensive fertilizer is, and oh, there's one other thing I want to show you. Speaking of how expensive fertilizer is, one other thing I want to show you. We have our Mengele hard manure spreader, but we didn't have a slurry spreader. And I know we don't need these things yet, but on the one hand, I kind of like to have them teed up, and on the other hand, I feel like if I spend the money now on things that we're definitely going to need later, I won't waste it, right? I won't go out and buy a bunch of candy and gum. We're on a little British map. Of course, we had to go with the Abbey. So I went with the big Abbey, and we've got that teed up when we need it. Pigs, I feel like we don't have enough pigs. And again, you know, when you're playing the long game, the really long game, when you're playing a map for like 6 months or 8 months or a year, you know, when you're putting 500 or 600 hours into it. Now, why are we dropping off on frames all of a sudden? I wonder if that has anything to do with the new shaders. Curious. When you're playing a map for a long, long time, like when you're playing a map for 6 months or a year, I feel like, you know, building up your pig, I don't know, population, your pig count, you've got plenty of time to do that, right? And if your pigs make, I don't know, if they make 20% reproduction per year. If you have 40 and they make 8 in a season, right? Or if you have 100 and they make 20, give it a few seasons and you're going to have a lot of pigs. And it may actually be higher than that, but just using 20% as an example. When you're only playing a season or two, I feel like it's like it almost takes too long. That's a good way to say it. And I also feel like I don't know if anybody would be interested in watching, 500 hours of gameplay on the same map. I feel like about 25 to 50 hours. I feel like that's kind of the limit of the attention span of most people. So I feel like if we did between 30 and 60 minute videos, and if we did between 25 and 50 of them, I think that's about the limit of what an audience can sort of tolerate. And I do like the long play, but I recognize that I like the long play, but I'm also a long player. So, you see what I mean? I don't necessarily need to watch other people play the same farm for months and months and months, because I can do that on my own. So I feel like these videos need to be a little bit quicker and maybe a little bit, not unrealistic, but more condensed, I guess is a good way to say it. I'm learning, man. I just realized yesterday when I was posting, I just posted my 200th video, and I feel like I've learned a lot. I feel like my videos have improved a lot. I feel like there's still a ways to go, and I want what I make to be as good as the videos that I watch and love on the dang old YouTube. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make videos that good. I'm going to try to. And I believe we're going to be able to finish off this field in just a couple of passes, because this thing has, compared to that other thing, that other broadcast spreader, that tiny thing, this is, even with a little bit too much overlap on the left side, we're still making good time up here. So yeah, next time you come back to visit, we should be in early autumn, late summer to early autumn, and we're going to be getting ready to harvest. And in the meantime, well, what I may do, because we have 3 tractors, what I may do is fill the other bunker, right? Because we got 1 bunker cooking right now. Fill the other bunker, live on borrowed money the rest of the summer, and then when we start again in the fall, uncover 1 bunker and unload it as we're harvesting, and when that one's empty, then unload the second bunker, right? And we'll still be harvesting. So between the two of them, we've got almost, what, 360,000 liters in there, 360 tons, so that's about 180 grand, and we have like 50,000 in debt. So we've got a harvest coming in which is primarily going to go to the pigs, but we should have, if we fill both those stalls with the same amount of silage, we should have over 300,000 pounds of worth of silage to sell. And I'm going to check. I think we did a pretty good job, but I feel like I missed one little stripe out here. So, grass. No, I'm not worried about that. Right. So we're going to come through here. Close the gate. Yeah, let's do it before and after one more time. Yeah, I think I like that better. It looks more clear. It looks like there's less haze in the air, but I feel like that's it could look like haze in the air, like it's intentional, right? It's a real thing, but at the same time it could just look kind of washed out, like it doesn't have very tight colors. But I prefer this. I think this is a better look. So, right, we're going to get our broadcast spreader dropped. tractor put away. Should I wash this thing? I kind of feel like I should. And I don't think we even have a place to wash tractors. Let's do this. Let's, where would we put that? I know exactly where we put that. Right, so... I don't wash my tractors as much as I ought to. I know that. I know. Right, so... And I don't, there's some triggers over there where I'm imagining putting this, so let's see if we have space for it. And I just realized, you know what's funny about my microphone? You know what, this is a little farm. Little farm would have a little right over. Turn it a little bit for that pro look. Right there. The hell was I just saying? My microphone. That's it. I've got the. It's not quite a potato microphone, but it's in the family. And it's just the boom microphone on my gaming headset, which is a nice headset. Oh, I got two of them. Moment, please. Let me get rid of that one. There you go. It's just the boom microphone on my headset, and it's a nice headset, but it's the boom microphone on a headset. It's not a Yeti, it's not a Snowball. You know, it'll do. But what's funny is I feel like this thing has no sensitivity and no dynamic range, but then when I listen to replay, it picks up like every click of my mouse and keyboard. And I know one of the workarounds for that, can't get the angle here. I know one of the workarounds for that is to put a towel over your hands while you game. I don't know if I'm going to do that. Not saying I won't. Just not there yet. Alright. Is that better? I feel like that's better. Folks, if it's all the same to you, like I said, I'm going to go do some things off camera, and I will meet you back here in 1 week, and it will either be harvest or it will be close to harvest. But we're going to get her going that way. Thank you so much for stopping back to check out The Portable Gamer. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Farming Simulator 2017. And we'll see you next time. Take care now.